Folks, let me tell you why I don't make predictions and then get into the latest home prices and insights for York Region for week ending January 17th, 2024. Many of you have subscribed recently. Thank you for that. Those of you that enjoy the content and you've not yet subscribed, consider subscribing. So, predictions. Since December, as we were approaching 2024, the predictions started for everything. This is a real estate channel, so we're going to talk about real estate. Tons of real estate predictions. In December and then starting in January. You didn't hear any predictions from me. I choose to just stay away from guessing. Even if it's an educated guess, I choose to stay away. Lots of realtors over the last couple years have predicted to their clients, buy pre-construction, you'll sell it at a huge profit. How's that worked out for you? CMHC, our industry leader, the resource for all information real estate, 4 years ago predicted this is the end of the world when it comes to prices. How did that work out? It was the complete opposite. We've seen the highest volume in prices in our history of real estate. And I can go on and on. And if the so-called experts with all the education and these high-paying jobs can't get it right, why do we still follow predictions? I choose to focus on observations. All my charts on the board, all that data, it's an observation. That's what we do on this channel. When I talk to you about what I'm experiencing in the field, it's an observation. It's happening right now. Things can change tomorrow. Tons of variables out there, but I prefer to stick to observations. So let me give you my observation as to what's happening right now in York Region. And specifically, when I talk about York Region, I mean, York Region is pretty large. I'm more focused on Vaughan, Richmond Hill, and Markham, the cities that border the city of Toronto. Well, it should be understood by everybody that Vaughan, Richmond Hill, and Markham as an area really is the most expensive real estate in the GTA. Now, you could pick out pockets. You could say, well, Rosedale's far more expensive. You'd be right, but we're not talking about little tiny neighborhood. We're talking about a vast area. Vaughan, Richmond Hill, Markham is a vast area. And overall, average sold prices across Vaughan, Richmond Hill, and Markham are much higher than the city of Toronto as a whole. You could look at Burlington and Oakville and say, well, you know, the properties, they're very expensive. Yes, but as a whole, Vaughan, Richmond Hill, and Markham, that vast area, far more expensive than any other area of its size across the GTA. So what's happening? Well, I know lots of people with it seemed that last quarter, in most areas of the GTA, last quarter, from actually even before, from August, September, October, November, and December, generally speaking, things are quiet. Very few activity. If you had an open house, lucky to have some people show up. It was just a very headed into the year. Things just seem to come to a grinding halt almost. And I know lots of buyers had the attitude that I can't wait for the new year because that's when I'm going to be ready to buy. Prices will be even better. Here's my observation, and then I'll back it up with the actual numbers when I put it on the board, especially months of inventory. Vaughan, Richmond Hill, and Markham, and many parts of the GTA have become more active. Buyers have jumped back in, it would seem. And why do I say that? Open houses, the few that I went to with my buyer clients, they're packed. There's cars lined up outside. In some open houses, you had to kind of stop and wait. You couldn't get in because the house was full. You can't do an open house, just one agent anymore. There's too many people walking through the house. Buyers have come back. When I go to book showings, I could see time slots filled out. I don't have my pick of the time I want to go. We've got to kind of squeeze it in when we can. You put an offer on a property, which we did, that is sitting there. It's sitting there for a couple months. 2 and 3 and 4 other offers come in, and it wasn't a scheduled offer night. You put an offer on a property you thought that nobody else is interested in. All of a sudden, there are other people interested, other buyers. That's what's happening in Vaughan. We had 7 properties across Vaughan, Richmond Hill, and Markham sell for over $3 million. One of them was at $6.5 million. One of them was at $8.5 million. Were they good deals? 7 properties over $3 million. The market has picked up right now. It is active. I can't tell you how long this is going to last because that would be a prediction. And I don't know if it's just a couple of week things. As we're doing this video, Bank of Canada made an announcement. It's not moving the rate. Do you think that instills more confidence with the buyers that are out there right now, or takes away from confidence? And based on buyer activity, I can tell you, we have a shortage of listings. What do you think happens to prices when there's a shortage? Do you think we're going to see a further prices coming down? Again, I can't tell you what's going to happen in 2 months or 3 months from now. But right now, prices seem to be pretty stable. There seems to be a shortage. You can feel it out there. You could see it out there. Those clients that I'm speaking with that are thinking of selling, my conversation with them is, we can expect activity. We can expect interest, whereas it was quiet before. Those people that are buyers looking to buy, you're going to experience somewhat of a competition, especially if it's a good house for you and it's priced right. You can expect it to be a good house for a whole bunch of other people also. That's the experience right now. That's the observation. That's what's happening in Vaughan, Richmond Hill, and Markham, the most expensive real estate across the GTA. Now, some of you are going to say it's unsustainable. From what I'm saying as an observation, it's irrelevant that it's unsustainable because we're seeing it happen right now. Some of you are going to say the interest rates are still way too high and home prices are still way too high. It's irrelevant what you think. It's irrelevant what I think, because I have my own opinion of prices and does it make sense. But I'm telling you right now, buyers are out there and they seem to be pretty aggressive. They seem to be wanting to buy. Their confidence has picked up. Is that going to change? That would be a prediction, and I don't know. Nobody knows, but I'm giving you an observation. If you want to enter the field right now of selling and buying, that's what you can expect across York Region. If you feel this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. If you get value from what we're talking about, subscribe. If you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Up here, there's a link to my calendar. Below this video, in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you, and we'll talk about whatever's on your mind. Now, let's get into the numbers. Folks, here we go. York Region. Up here, Richmond Hill, Vaughan, Markham. Richmond Hill's at $1,859,000. Markham, the lowest part of York Region is $1,715,000. These are average sold prices for detached properties only. Toronto and Mississauga are basically tied in the middle, and then Brampton and Durham down here. Vaughan, Richmond Hill, and Markham, the most expensive stretch of real estate across the GTA. We're going to start off with, again, this is York Region, Richmond Hill, Vaughan, and Markham only. And Vaughan, detached properties broken down by week for a whole year. 21 detached properties were sold for week ending January 17th. 7 of those were at $2 million or more. That's up by 2 properties from the previous week when it was 5. 21 is up from 15 the previous week. Sales just over the first few weeks of this year, there's only been 2 full weeks. Sales are up. If we look kind of at the trend last year, sales continue to go up to the spring market, which is what we expect. That is normal. That is seasonal. We do expect sales to go up. Maybe not every single week, but trending up is what's expected. If it trends down, that would be a cause for, what's going on? But that's not the case. So sales are up. The amount of property selling at $2 million are up. Average sold price is up to $1,809,000. The dotted line here, 2023, 2024. So compared to last year, $1,809,000 is 1% lower than where the average sold price was for the same week a year ago. The median price of $1,765, it's quite high. It's 14% higher than when it was this time a year ago. Now, across Vaughan, Richmond Hill, and Markham, 7 properties, I said, sold at $3 million or more. 2 of those properties, one was at $6.5 million, one was at $8.5 million. We said sales are up. The amount of property selling at list price or more climbed a little bit. It's now at 29%, so less than a third. And listings, the last quarter, we'll say, we were out listing in most cases what we were doing a year ago. So the orange, current, the blue, same time a year before that. So we were out listing. This year, it's the opposite. We are listing less than what we were listing this time a year ago. Now again, this is just for detached properties. Active listings is coming down. So sales went up. Amount of properties available for sale, active listings is down. What do you think happens to months of inventory? Months of inventory is down. So the real estate for detached properties in Vaughan, the market got a bit tighter, a little bit more demand, less supply. Months of inventory has come down. Prices accordingly go up. The more competition, the more prices, the more imbalance we have between supply and demand, where demand is higher than supply, this is what you're going to get. Here's Richmond Hill. We went from 4 properties to 12 properties being sold for week ending January 17th. 2 of those were at $2 million or more. Average sold price up from the previous week to $1,859,000. 1,859 is 4% lower than where we were this time a year ago. The median price is 12% lower than where we were this time a year ago. Median price is almost $1.7 million. Of the 12 that sold, 25%. So 3 of those properties sold at list price or more. And listings, similar to what happened in Vaughan last quarter. So October, we were listing far more than what we listed the prior year. This year, we're listing less. Less properties are coming on the market for sale. And months of inventory dropped down to 3.2 months of inventory. Average days on market is 29. The couple weeks before that, we're at in the 60s for average days on market. Now we're sitting at 29. Markham. Markham, it's behaving differently. And Markham often kind of behaves differently than Vaughan and Richmond Hill. But Markham's still pretty expensive here. So 14 detached properties are sold, which is down from what we did the previous week. 3 of those were at $2 million or more. Average sold price came down to $1,715,000. 1,715 is 3% higher than where we were this time a year ago. The median price is 6% higher, Median price is 1,547. 14 were sold, close to half, 43% sold at list price or more. Listings, similar. We were out listing. Now we're listing less. For this week, it's kind of similar, but it's still less than what we were doing this time a year ago. And months of inventory actually went up. The other neighborhoods went down. But let's think about this for a second. We went from 1.5 to 2.1. It's still quite low, 2.1 months of inventory. Here's a quick summary. I threw in York Region condos just for a comparison. Months of inventory for the condos is at 2.8. But look, you got 2 in Vaughan, 3.2 months of inventory Richmond Hill. Markham is sitting at 2.1. We say a balanced market is between 3 and 5 months. Months of inventory overall in the second week in January, it's quite low. A buyer's market is where we expect to see prices trending down. We're not close to a buyer's market right now. Sure, there could be some neighborhoods experiencing different types of markets, but overall, months of inventory is quite low. I wouldn't say it's an aggressive seller's market, but it's borderline seller's market, balanced market. Who you hire matters. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day.